What is going on, fight fans? My name is Edward, the creative director for Thrill of the Fight 2 here at Half Brick, and today we have a massive update in terms of balancing, and the number one focus for this update is damage. Although there's a lot of things going into this one, damage was our primary focus. So without any further ado, let's jump into it and see what you guys are going to get in this brand new update. First thing we're going to talk about is the new punishment system. So there was a punishment system in the game before, but it was somewhat lackluster and it was too easy to spam to get to high punishment. We have reiterated on that punishment system. So now throwing combinations and doing damage over time can definitely help push you towards a knockdown. All of your combinations have weight to them and matter. Now, there are some things we're going to talk about in this update that has completely changed how damage works. So much so that this next item that I'm going to talk about in the updates might surprise you. We're so confident in our damage system that we went ahead and toned down the nerf for the anti-spam system. So you no longer have to worry about punishment buildup, as that has been completely removed no matter how many punches you throw. And if you do throw a lot of punches, there is damage that you can still take. However, that has also been reduced. We've also removed the stances. So if you are just holding a stance, you're no longer buffed in your resistance. And if you are attacking, you're no longer nerfed in your resistance, meaning you won't take more damage simply because you're not blocking, and you won't take less damage simply because you're not blocking. The only thing that has not been changed is unguarded. So if you have both of your hands, keep in mind, it's not just one hand, it's both of your hands away from your body. If you have that like out like this or out like this, or you're going like this, that's the only time where there will be a damage increase if you get hit. We want to give the player, the player, the ability to have the freedom of choice of how you want to play and not have to be forced into any sort of a meta. So that's why we've removed it. The body effort system is in this update, and this is the system that we've been working on and reiterating and putting into the PTC in multiple different iterations to get to a really good place. But the body effort system now requires you to actually put effort behind the punch for it to do big damage. If you don't put effort behind the punch, you're not going to be doing big damage. So people that are just throwing like this or doing just this and not pushing in and pushing off of the feet and dipping and punching, all of those things that elicit body effort, the punch won't register as really hard. It will actually just register as a smaller damage. So keep that in mind. This is the reason why you are no longer nerfed, because even if you wanted to spam body effort, it will actually take a lot of body effort. And at that point, if you are putting in if you have your heart rate up at like 170, whatever it is, just to spam, well, go ahead. But you'll be more telegraphed, and two, it's just going to be a cardio nightmare to try to spam that. So it's up to you, but I wouldn't recommend it. Either way, now body effort is going to help translate your actual effort. So if you're putting in a lot of effort into your punch, now that will be reciprocated on the damage when you land on your opponents. Another problem that people have had was the acceleration of joystick players, right? Unfortunately, they were moving a little bit too forward when they were throwing punches. Now we've reduced their acceleration overall. So there's got to be a lot of timing with how they move in and how they move out. But rest assured, I mean, if you are playing joystick versus joystick, both of you guys will have that change. So it should be even there. When you are playing with someone who is in room scale, you'll have to be a little more judicious with your entry, considering that you are using joystick. So the total acceleration for joystick movers or users has been reduced. We also have a new move-in system, which is one of the reasons why we removed the stances, because the new move-in system is simply moving in. So if your head is moving towards the punch and the punch is hitting you, you're going to take more damage. That's going to cause more damage. So timing your opponent, seeing where they're moving their heads and catching them with a really good hook, or if they're pushing forward, catching them with a really good straight, or if they're ducking down, catching them with a really good uppercut, all of that is going to multiply the damage with the new move-in system. This helps not have to create a scenario where people have to even use stances, because it'll all be based off of the countering opponents using how they are attacking you and how they're moving. So try to read what your opponents are doing. Everybody got tendencies out there. Try to pay attention to their tendencies, and when you do, make them pay for it. Now, one big thing that you guys have asked for is to remove the body stun effect. So when you get hit to the body and you get stunned, there would be a flash effect that happened. Now, one, it felt not tied to real life because there isn't a flash that happens, but also it felt like you couldn't see it. So it was very frustrating. It's harder to see the body shots than it is to see the headshots. So we understand that. However, there still needed to be something there. And at the time, all we had was that stun effect. But now we've added a vignette effect so that when you get hit hard to the stomach, you will know that it was a body shot and not a headshot. You'll see the vignette, but you won't be blinded. There won't be that flash, and you can still continue to see your opponent, but know that you are hurt. And that hopefully will reflect what that feels like, or what the perception of that feeling is when actually fighting in a real fight. You won't be blinded anymore from really powerful shots to the body. We also added soft blocking. The soft blocking simply means if a punch grazes your glove but still hits you, you're no longer going to get that full damage because you stunted that damage using your gloves. So if you were correct in anticipating or seeing the punch, but you might have been a little bit off, you're still going to take some oomph off of that swing. So make sure you are as proactive and active with your guard as much as possible, because even if you're not perfect with it, it's still going to elicit some benefits. This is what we'll call soft blocking, and you'll see the colors. It will actually give you color feedback. You'll see it on the screen. There's different colors of greens and yellows. Those colors will actually let you know that you've soft blocked. With green meaning that you've soft blocked it at a very high level. So you've taken a lot of oomph off of that punch. Another thing that we got a lot of you asking us, when are we going to change this, is the glove size, right? The glove felt pretty tiny, but now we've increased the glove size. Now when you look at the glove size, it actually feels more akin to what it would look like if you actually had gloves in your hand when sparring or fighting. Now it's a more natural looking size. And also the colliders are bigger as well, making blocking much easier. So basically, the bigger the gloves are, they're not just aesthetic, they're also physical. So you can use this as a defensive tool to close more gaps during your defense and make it harder for your opponent to land those big shots. We've also changed the audio for punches delivered as well as punches received. So when you get hit, you'll hear much more satisfying feedback or more registered feedback. And when you hit someone, you'll hear a more satisfying and a more registered sound feedback. And we've tested these sounds, and in the PTC, people have absolutely loved these changes. So we hope that when you go in there and play, you also enjoy it, and it gives you a better feeling, a more visceral feeling, and it gives you a better feedback. And now we've also been able to give a breathing sound audio to your opponents when they are throwing pretty hard punches. So if they can actually activate the body effort, you will hear the sound, right? You will hear that sound while you are fighting, which can let you cue you in on how hard that they've punched you based off of their body effort. So pay attention to these sounds, right? The register sounds with the crowd, the breathing sounds when your opponent is punching. All of this is going to cue you in on what is happening, even if you are not looking at the direction or if you're rolling punches or what have you. Paying attention to the audio is now much more important, as well as paying attention to the visuals. So those are the changes in this update. Huge changes. We've been working on these changes. We've been iterating on these changes. We've been testing these changes in the PTC. And I think that you guys will be pleasantly surprised. We want to thank everyone who has been patient with us, as we don't want to just rush anything out. We want to actually polish and work on these changes to ensure that we give you a realistic as well as an exciting and fun experience. So please go ahead. Update is out now. Jump in there, update your Thrill of the Fight 2, and let us know down in the comment section or on our Discord how you feel about the changes. Until the next one, guys, peace out.
It's the thrill of the fight. It's the thrill of the fight. Yo, they ask me why we do it. It's just the thrill of the fight. Stay true, committed to it. Just the thrill of the fight.